Hello guys, my name is Kaushik and welcome back to Lambda Test. In this video, we're going to learn two important concepts in Playwright. First one is like how to handle frames, and there are different ways to handle frames in Playwright. We'll talk about that in detail. And followed by, we are also going to learn how to handle single tab or multiple tab using Playwright. So let's get started now. So first we'll learn about the frames. So what is frame? Frame in the sense like basically like whenever we take any of the web pages, we have the HTML, right? So frames basically stays within HTML file. For example, if I go and inspect this one, and here you can see like the very beginning of the application will be like HTML, right? But here you can see like we have multiple HTML tag here, right? So if I copy and paste that, not this one, like HTML, here you can see like we are getting around like 62, and there are not this one, let me search with double slash. Okay, so here you can select we have like 27 of frames, where few of the frames are ads. So in this website we have ads, and those are like dynamic things. Okay, but here actually we have three frames. Okay, so first one is the parent, that is like our the first page. Like whenever we load the page, we are getting one HTML, right? So that is our parent. And followed by we have like another one, which is this particular area. So if I mouse on this, you can see the blue color, right? So that entire area is a frame, and within that we also have a nested frame, this particular like email section. Okay, so basically like this entire whole page is one HTML, and within that we have another HTML, which is like this like first name, last name. Okay, so these are within another frame, and this frame is within this frame. Okay, so we have like nested frames. Let's see how to handle it. So already I have created a test file called frames.test.ts, and within that I have imported the expect and the test from the Playwright test. And of course we have a test block, and the name is interact with frames. Okay, so first of all we'll navigate to our website. So for that await page dot go to, and then followed by the URL, so letcode.in/frames. Okay, and then what we are going to do is we are going to find how many number of frames are there within this page. Okay, so let's go and search that manually. Let's see how to find that. So here I can search like double slash then followed by iframe. Okay, so here we can select we have around like 26, but this can be different because like whenever we load the page, if there is some ad missing, the number of frames is going to be less. Okay, but we can approximately count like there should be like more than 20. Okay, so let's do that. So here I'm going to say like page dot frames, and then so this is going to give me all the frames within the page. Okay, so for example here I can select all frames equal to page dot frames. Okay, so this is just a method. It will give us like array of frames, the number of frames we have. To get the specifically like how many numbers we have, so this is array, right? So of course we can use the property called length. So here I'm going to say like number of frames, and then we'll just say like all frames dot length. Okay, so let's go ahead and execute this first. I'm going to click on this run test button. It will be very fast. It will just open and close, but we can see like number of frames we got. So the browser got closed and our test is passed. Of course, like whenever we run from this button, like the Visual Studio Code extension, we cannot see the logs here. Okay, if you want to see the logs, you have to go to the Playwright report, the HTML report, and from there we can go to the standard output, the last section, and here you can see like we got like 27 frames. That is what expected, right? If you want to see the output in the console directly, what you can do is you can use your config file, and here you can enable your test match, and then you can just give like the test name, and you can bring up your terminal, Control J. And if you remember in our package.json file, already we have configured in the test, right? So here I can directly say like npm test or npm run test. So here the script will execute, and we can see the logs, the console logs in the console itself. Anyways, fine, whatever you feel comfort, you can use it. Okay, so here you can select, we got the console log like number of frames equal to 23. If you want to open the reporter, you can use this command like npx playwright show report, and that will bring up the report. Okay, now let's get started with the actual learning. So what we are going to do is we are going to do the interaction with this particular elements like first name and the last name. So for that, of course, we have to find the frame, right? So let's go and find this element like first name, and this is my first name, like input name equal to f name. This is my locator, right? If I go up, and here we can see like we got something like um, HTML, right? So HTML, and above that we got the iframe, right? And here you can see like we have an ID and we have a name, and also we have like src frame UI. Okay, so once I mouse on this, you can see the blue part, right? So that is basically the entire frame. Okay, now let's see how to interact with that. So first of all, we'll say like page dot frame, and here we have to give the frame name. Okay, so if I mouse hover on this, you can see like frame selector we can give, like you can give the XPath or the CSS, like look all the locator strategy, or else you can just say like the name of the frame or the URL of the frame. Okay, so here in this case I'm going to give the name. Let's go with that. Okay, so here we have a name called first fr. I'm going to copy that and I'm going to pass it here. Okay, and that's going to give me the frame, right? So here I will say like const, let's name it like my frame. Okay, and of course this is going to be find the frame. If the frame is not there, it will return as null. Okay, now what we have to do is already we found the frame, so based on the frame we have to do the interaction now. So if you know Selenium, in Selenium we'll say like we'll try to find the element, we'll try to find the frame first, then we'll say like driver dot switch to frame, and then we'll use the same driver object to do the interaction like driver dot find elements or whatever it is, right? But in terms of Playwright, whenever we found the frame, we have to use the frame object, not the page object. Okay, so let me give you an example here. So here I can say like await my frame dot and fill is the function, right? So to do the typing, we have to use the fill, where here we have to pass our locator and here we have to pass our actual test data. So my test data is going to be like Kaushik, and the locator is going to be like f name, right? So here I can write the CSS like double slash, not double slash, input and name equals f name, right? So this is my one of one, that means my css is correct. So here I can give the locator. Now if you notice something here, we have like question mark then followed by dot. Okay, what is this? In the sense like this is like nullish operator. So for example, as I said, like when we try to find the frame, if the frame is there, it will return us the frame. If the frame is not there, it will return us null. So here to check whether the frame is null or not, we are using this question mark dot. That means if this is not a null, then only it will do this fill action, or else it will just stop here itself. Okay, if I don't have this feature, what I have to do is I have to write a if condition. So for example, here I will say like if my frame is there, and I can say like if it's not equal to null, then I can say like my frame dot fill, and then I can give my locator and I can give my test data and of course the await, right? So instead of writing like this, we can use this nullish operator. Okay, so that's a very simple thing. I will just add a comment here, maybe you can check it out later. Okay, similarly we are going to do the interaction with the last name. So if I go and inspect this, so here I can say like I have a name called L name. So I'm going to copy paste, and here I'll just change from F name to L name, and here I'll change my actual test data. Okay, so that's it, and it's going to be very fast. So just to show you the demo, I'm going to add a sleep here like await page dot wait for timeout. Now you might ask me, hey Kaushik, you are dealing with the frame, but here you are using page dot timeout. Will that work? Of course it will work. Like here we are just doing the type, but browser is open based on the page, right? So whenever we open the browser, it's basically the page. Within the page we have frame. So if I wait for the timeout, we can wait for the frame as well, we can wait for the page as well, doesn't matter at all. Okay, now let's go and run this one more time. So here you can see like we got the actual test data like Kaushik and Chatterjee, right? That's it. Now let's see how to write an expect condition for this. So for example, if I give my name here and once I entered, you can see like we are getting this particular message, right? So I can go and inspect this one. And here we have a class called has text info. So I'm going to copy that, and that's like p dot. Yeah, so we got 1 of 1. That means it's correct, right? Now I can write the expect condition here. So I can say like expect and then followed by await page dot, sorry, not page, it should be my frame dot what we have to do, we have to find the locator, right? So we have to find the locator like locator, and then we'll give our css, and from there we want the text content. What is text content? Basically it will try to get the text from that particular element. Okay, and after that I can say like to contain. So to contain in the sense like we're going to check partially. For example, you have entered, so we are going to check this value is exist or not partially, right? Now, yeah, this should work fine. Let's go and run this one more time just to do the verification. Okay, so here we got our like you have entered Kaushik Chatterjee, and here our test case is passed. That means, of course, the expect is working correctly, right? Yeah. So this is one way of finding the frames. There is also another way. Let's see that. Okay, so I'm going to comment all this code as of now, and here I'll just add another way. Okay, so first of all, we'll have to say like page dot, and directly we can say the frame locator. Okay, so frame locator in the sense like it's actually same, both kind of same. Okay, so here I can say like frame locator, which will find the frame. Okay, so like here we have a frame locator. Let's go and inspect the frame. You can search here like /iframe and you will get the frame exactly. Okay, so yeah, this third one is our, yeah, this is the one, right? So now let's go and write maybe with the SRC. Okay, so I'm going to copy the frame URL, and here I have to select frame locator, then I have to give the selector. Okay, so that's going to be like, of course I can give the ID as well, that is also fine, anything is fine. So here I have like first fr, I'm going to give this one. Okay, here this is name. Okay, whereas here we are trying to find with the help of ID. Okay, so await, I mean page dot frame locator, which is going to give me the frame locator here. Okay, so here I can say like const this is my frame. Okay, and then what can I do is I can do the same stuff like await frame dot, here we have different options, like so here like the frame locator, right? So that frame locator is going to give us the frame, and within that, like if you want to interact with the first frame or maybe with the nth based on the like index, or if you want to interact with the last frame, you can do that. Okay, so here we'll go with the direct one because we have like only one frame, and within that we have to use the locator to find the element, right? So here we'll say like the same element, I can just copy paste here actually, and then I'm going to do the fill. So here I'll just fill and pass my test data. Okay, so that's it, very simple thing here. Like we will find the locator, frame locator first, and then we'll try to interact with the frame locators. Okay, it's just another way of finding the frame. Okay, so similarly we can do like frame dot locator, and here it will be like ill name, and then I can give my last name here. Okay, and we have the timeout. That's fine. Let's go and run this. Let's check whether it's working or not. Okay, so it worked, and yeah, that's it, right? Now let's see how to interact with the nested frame. Okay, so here already we found the frame, right? So from the frame we have to go inside the nested, right? So for example, let me go and here, like this is this entire box, right? So you can see the box, right? This entire box is on frame, and within that this particular text box called enter email, which is again inside another frame. Okay, so this is like your frame. Within that we have another frame. Okay, so that is what nested frame or inner frame we call it, right? So here I can say like it has only src called inner frame, right? So here I can just copy this guy, or I can write the css as well, right? So here I can say like iframe, and then I can select src equals this value. Okay, so let's copy that. And already we found the parent frame. So if you want to interact with the inner frame or the nested frame, it's going to be very simple. We can go from the frame itself. Okay, so frame, and then followed by we can say like frame locator. So this frame has another frame, right? So that's why we are using the frame locator, and this is going to turn me the another frame, right? So I can name it like inner frame. And then of course the same thing, like here we can say like inner frame dot locator, and from the locator we have to find the locator. Let's go and inspect this one. So here I can say like it has a name called email, so I can make use of that. So input, and then followed by name equals the email. Okay, and then I can select fill, and then probably I can just pass my data something like this. And of course we are using the fill function, so we have to use the await. Okay, so now let's go and execute this. Let's see whether it's working or not. Okay, so here we can say like Kaushik is typed, Chatterjee is typed, and also the email ID is typed, right? So that's a very simple thing. Now you might ask me like in Selenium we have a lot of functions, right? We have like a switch to default frame, like switch to parent frame, switch to default content, like that we have, right? But here it's very simple. So if you want to interact with the page like outside of the frame, you can use the direct like page object. And then if you want to interact with the frame or this frame, you can just call that and you can use it. For example, once I type within the inner frame, then I'm going to retype this one. Okay, so like I'm going to basically fill function, in the sense like it will clear the existing data and then it will type, right? So here instead of Kaushik, let's say that I'm going to give it like LetCode. Okay, now let's go and interact, I mean execute, and let's see what happens. So it is going to interact with the first frame, and then it's going to interact with the inner frame. So here you can see like it interacted, and then it cleared the Kaushik and it typed the netcode. Okay, so that's it. Very simple. Like if you want to find number of frames available on the page, you can use the like page dot frames dot length. Okay, if you want to interact with any frame, you can use the frame locator. That is the new changes in Playwright. Earlier we have this only option like page dot frame, but now we have like page dot frame locator, so we can find the locator based on the frame. Whereas here if you mouse over, you can see the difference, right? So here we can find based on the name, URL, or the frame selector, but whereas in the frame selector we can find only based on the same string selector, like based on locator only. Okay, and apart from that everything is very same. So whatever the frame you have to interact, you can just bring that frame and you can do the interaction. Okay, so that's a very simple thing. If you have any queries, do let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to reply. Okay, now let's focus on the windows or multiple tabs handling part. So for that I have created a file called window.test.ts, and let's go to our config file, and here I'm going to change the file name to windows.test.ts. That is my test file name. Okay, and here what we are going to do is, first of all we'll navigate to the page like page dot go to, and here we'll use our lambda test application. So here let me close this, and yeah, so here you can see like once I click on this follow on Twitter, it's going to bring up another pop-up or a tab or a window, right? So all the three are same meaning only, there is no much difference here. Okay, so here you can see like we got this like lambda test and Twitter, so we got the Twitter page, right? So let's copy this URL, and here we are going to paste it. It is also similar to frame concept only, like we like in Selenium we have to switch and then we have to do it, right? Here we have to just get the window handles and we can interact with it directly. Okay, let me give you an example. So first of all, we are going to click on this like follow on Twitter, right? So let's go and copy this guy, and this guy has a I don't think it has any kind of ID, so we'll use this like link text, the link text. Okay, so here what we have to do is, like, once we click on this, then the pop-up is coming, right? So if you remember the previous video where we discussed about the alert, there we have used some kind of listeners, right? So first we'll wait for the alert, then we'll click on the alert button so that the alert interaction will happen. Similar thing here as well. So here what we have to is await, not await. So here we have to say like promise. So we have to perform multiple actions, like we have to wait for the pop-up and also we have to click on this element. So both are like two simultaneous actions, or the race condition I can say. So for that we have to use the promise dot all, and then we are going to give the array, and here we are going to perform multiple tasks, only two tasks actually. Okay, so first one is like page dot wait for the event. What event? In the sense like, of course it's a pop-up, right? The pop-up in the sense like a new tab or a new window. And when this is going to occur, in the sense like once I click on the element like this one, follow on Twitter, right? And this is a text, link text, right? So I have to enclose that within the single quotes. Okay, and here this guy is going to return us a new window. Okay, now you might ask me, hey, what is this? This is like within the bracket. So this is known as like destructuring concept in JavaScript or the TypeScript. So if you know about that, that's fine, or probably I will leave a link in the description. Probably you can, I mean in the comment section, you can check it out from there. Okay, so here yeah, so let's go and print the new tab URL, right? So for that we can use the console.log, and here I can say like new window dot URL. That's it, right? Very simple. Okay, and yeah, let's go and run this first. Okay, I should run from the like npm test so that we can see the output actually. Anyways, I think we can check it from the reporter as well. Let's go and check it from there. So here you can see like we got the new tab URL, that is like twitter.com/lambda-test, right? Now let's go and do one more thing. Okay, so here I'm going to print my page URL. Okay, so console.log page.url. So this one will be same like this one, right? So lambda-test.com/playground. So we can expect this one here. And once we click on the Twitter button, the Twitter tab will be open, that will be stored in this new window. And from there, we are trying to fetch the URL, right? Now let's bring up our terminal and let's run this. Okay, sorry, npm test. Okay, so here you can see like from the page we got the first URL that we have given in the goto function, and the second one is the lambda test from Twitter page, right? So that's it, very simple. Now whatever the things we do, right, we do the click action, we do the fill action or select option, whatever it is, you can use this new window object and you can do it. Okay, so for example I can say like new window dot fill and then followed by the locator and the value. Okay, so that's it, very simple. So I'm going to skip that part. Now let's see one more thing, right? So how to handle multiple windows. Okay, so for example here once I click on this follow Twitter and Facebook, you can see like we are getting two tabs. One is the Twitter and another one is the Facebook tab, right? So let's see how to interact with this. So first of all, we'll try to find this locator, and here we have an ID called follow both. So I'm going to copy that, and here I'm going to find that one. Before that, the same thing here also we have to repeat. Okay, so await promise dot all, and then within the square bracket we are going to write the two functions. So one is the wait for event, and the event is pop up, and then followed by, we can say like page dot click, and here we have to give the uh, link text. Okay, so within, I mean, this is not link text, this is my id, right? Yeah. Okay, now here, since it's an array, of course we have to use the comma. The most common mistake is like people use the semicolon, or they just leave it blank as it is. Okay, so use the comma. Since it's an array, we have to give the value in a comma separated. Okay, and here I'm going to save it like within the destructuring format. I'm going to say like multiple pages. Okay, not pages, multiple page. Okay, and here, let's say like how many windows we are getting, right? So we are expecting like one is the lambda test page, another one is the Facebook, and another one is the Twitter, right? So let's see that. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to say like multiple page or multi-page. This name is not good, I'll change this to multi. Okay, so here we can select multi-page dot context dot pages. Okay, and this context dot pages, in the sense like it will give us like how many pages are there, okay, in the array format. So here I can say like let's name it like const pages, and let's check the length. Okay, so console dot log, and here I can say like pages dot length. Okay, so this is going to return me the number of windows opened. Okay, so here I can select number of tabs. Okay, now let's go and run this one more time. So it's going to click on this, and we got like Twitter. Okay, it was really fast, but here you can see like we are getting only number of tabs as 2, and this is our first URL only. Okay, so why we are getting 2, in the sense like I will tell you. Before that, let me show you one thing. Okay, so I'm going to comment this guy here, like this is our initial page, and here what I'm going to do is I'm going to, since it's a array, right, so we can use the for each. So here I can say like page dot for each, and that's going to return me single page at a time. Let me store it like that, and here I can say like console dot log single page dot, or let's name it like tab for our easy understanding, tab dot url. Okay, so basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to print all the url that are opened. Okay, so let's go and run this now. Okay, so we got the pages, like here we have the Twitter and the Facebook is there, but here you can see like we are getting only number of tabs as 2, and this is like our first and the second, but we are not seeing the Twitter, right? Because the browser is getting closed even before the all the pages get loaded completely. Okay, so to fix that, what we can do is we can say like wait, and then followed by pages dot wait for load state. Okay, so it will wait until all the pages loaded, and we have to bring it up here. Okay, so why, in the sense like once we click on this like follow both, then we'll get the multi pages, all the pages, right? So we'll wait until all the pages get load state completed, and not the pages, I mean the multi page. Okay, so we'll wait until all the pages get loaded successfully, then we'll try to find the length, and we'll try to find the urls. Okay, now let's go and run this. So our main page opened, and based on the click we got another 2 browser. It's like stacked after a one, so that's why you are not able to see it. But here you can see like we got all the three urls, and number of tabs also 3. Okay, so that is how we have to wait until all the pages are getting loaded, okay, or the pop-ups. So for that we have to use this function called wait for load state. And here also we have like three states. One is the DOM content loaded, the load, or the network ID. So based on your application you can use appropriately. Okay. Now let's see how to interact with the pages, right? Multiple pages, right? So here using the context.pages, we got all the pages, right? So that is like our all the opened one. So 0 is my parent, so we can leave that, but we want to interact with the first and the second, right? So here we can see like await, and then we can select pages of 1. Okay, since it's an array, we can just get like 1, 0, 1 and 2. Okay, and then I can say like dot fill, or like whatever the test data I have to pass, I can just pass based on the locator and the test data. Okay, so that's it, very simple thing, right? But you might ask me, hey Kaushik, how I will know like which one is the Facebook page or which one is the Twitter page? How can I say like 1, 0, I mean 1 or 2, right? So that's a valid question, so let me give you the solution for that as well. Okay, so here we are using the for each, right? So within the for each we cannot return, but what we can do is we can simply write like for loop here, and here it's going to be like pages dot length, and here we are going to index, like same loop concept, I believe you remember that one. Okay, now here let's give it like let Facebook page. Okay, and then what we are going to do is we are going to get the pages, right? So here already we got the pages, right? So from these pages I can give like index, and I can check for the URL. Okay, so URL, and this is going to return me of course the URL. And if the URL equals like what will be the URL, I think that will be like so this is our frame, and the URL is like this one, right? So facebook.com/lambda-test, right? So I can grab that one, and here I can select this one. Okay, so if the URL is this, then I can just give like Facebook pages equal to this one, like pages of index. Okay, I hope you understood this one. This is very easy only. Like I will just go through the loop and we'll try to find the URL. If the URL matches, then we'll assign that to this variable. And now I can use this one. Okay, so for example, when I launch this Facebook page, and do you have something here to type, or and this is coming basically in the Telugu version. Telugu, not Telugu, I think it's Kannada. So I'm in Bangalore, that's why we are seeing this one. Let's say that we just want to retrieve this text here. So I'm going to inspect this one, and this one. So it has a tag name called h1, right? So let's go and find how many h1 are there. So /h1, and we have only one. Okay, I can use this one actually. So here what can I do is I can simply say like Facebook page dot, and here you see we are not getting any suggestions because it doesn't know like what the data type is. So we can just give the type as page. So that is the beauty of TypeScript actually. Okay, so here I can say like I want the text content from this particular locator h1, and that's going to give me the text. So const text, and we'll just log the variable text. And here of course we have to use the await. Okay, and here you can see like we are getting some compile time issue. That's not an big deal. So it says like you didn't assign anything, but still you are using. To fix it, it's very simple. You can like let it be let like you can just move this on top of the test block, so we won't get any compile time issue, or else you can just make it within the test block itself, so that's also not an issue. Okay, so this warning is just from your compiler. Compile in the sense like your TS configuration, you can change this if you want, but that's not needed. Okay, so let's execute and check. Okay, so I'm going to bring my npm test. Okay, I will just give you one more walkthrough. Before that, let's see the execution, and we are expecting the text content to return lambda text, I mean lambda test. So it's going to bring up both the tabs, and it's going to switch to the Facebook, and from there it is going to receive the text, like the header text. Okay, so here you can see like we got number of elements as 3, and here we got the text as like lambda test. Okay, so that's it, very simple thing. Let me give you a quick recap here. Okay, so if you want to find multiple page or a single page, you have to use like a wait promise.all, and we have to wait for the event like pop up, and then you have to say like on which button we have to click, button or link, whatever it is. Now once you got the multi pages or the single page, you can just say like wait for load state, so that the pages will get loaded completely. Once that is done, you can use the context dot pages to grab all the pages, and then you can use a loop to find if there is multiple. If there is only one single window, probably you have learned here itself, right? So we can just take the window directly and we can do the interaction. Okay, so that's it from my side. If you have any queries, feel free to ask me in the comments. I'll be happy to reply. And thanks for watching. See you in the next one very soon.